Hello everybody, this is a video about finding the surface area of prisms and cylinders. I am your host, Mr. Shirley, dropping a math bomb up in here. Now please print out or use the sheet I've provided to just write in some of the answers as we go through this. This will be our note for this particular topic. Okay, you won't have to write a separate one. Please make sure you do put a date on it, and a title might not be a bad idea if it isn't obvious or you won't remember it from what's on the left-hand side here. Now, surface area can be a very tricky topic, so please remember to pause my video if you need to go through it more slowly, because it is somewhat tricky. There's a lot of variables involved. It can be a little bit tricky to know which thing goes where. Okay, so take your time with it. Be careful, and remember to ask me lots of questions if you do have any. Okay, now the rectangular prism or cube, same formula and everything. Actually, let me backtrack for a second. So volume, we're getting everything that's on the inside of a particular shape. Okay, surface area, basically what we're doing is we are adding up the areas of all of the outside sides. Okay, so if you can think of a cube, for example, it has 6 faces on it, and we are going to find the area of each one of those and then add them together. Okay, so in its essence, that's all that surface area is. You're finding those areas of each of the faces, the outside sides, and just adding them together. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you look at these fancy looking formulas, that's really all they're doing. It's just giving you kind of a formulaic way of finding all those areas. Okay, so remember with this formula, for example, for the rectangular prism or a cube, so length times width would be the area of one of the sides, and then there's 2 of them that are that particular size. Length times height would get you another one of the rectangles, width times height would get you another one. Okay, and there are 6 sides, so we're just adding them up. Now, it really doesn't matter which side you put as length and width and height, just be consistent all the way through the formula, okay, so you don't miss one. All right, so we'll use this formula right here. Surface area equals 2 length times width plus 2 length times height plus 2 width times height. Okay, so again, doesn't matter which number you put where. I've just taken the formula and plugged these numbers into it. Okay, so we've got 13 and 7, and then we've got 13 and 9, and then we've got 7 and 9. All right, and then you multiply the ones beside each other and then add them each section. Okay, so you end up with 182 plus 234 plus 126. And we have 542 feet squared. Now, please keep in mind, because we're looking at area again, our answers will be squared, not cubed. Okay, yes, I will probably never ever dock you marks if you accidentally put a cubed, but just please keep in mind what it's supposed to be. Okay, all right, on we go. We'll do one more example. So again, same formula. Okay, so length and width, length and height, and then width and height. Okay, and it doesn't matter which you put where. Okay, as long as you're consistent and they both appear 2 times, like you can see in the numbers here. All right, so you carefully add those up. 132 plus 33 plus 18. And you should get 183 inches squared. Okay, moving along again. Now, other prisms are a little bit trickier, and I need to just explain for a moment some of the terminology that you'll see right here. Okay, as before, this capital B looking thing here just stands for the area of the base. Okay, so same as before. So a triangular prism, the base is a triangle. So that capital B would, in that case, just stand for the area of that base, area of the triangle. Okay, the height, again, is the distance between the bases. Okay, so in this triangle example number 4, there's a triangle on the top, a triangle on the bottom, and the height would be the 16 meters, which is the distance in between them. Okay, now one other terminology that comes up as far as surface area goes is LA, which does not stand for Los Angeles in our particular example. It stands for lateral area okay, which is the area of the things that aren't the bases, okay? It's like the area of those sides that aren't one of the triangles. So in this case, it would be the 3 rectangles. Okay, so whatever isn't a base. All right, so h is the height between the, oh, sorry, let me back up. You find the area of those bases by taking the perimeter of the base, that's what the P is, times the height, okay? And that can get you the area of all of them put together very quickly, okay? Instead of having to find them all separately. Okay, you could find them all separately in a manner somewhat similar to what we did up here with the rectangular pyramid, or sorry, rectangular prism rather, but you just might not want to. Okay, so you can go with this formula right here. Okay, so surface area equals the height times the perimeter of the base plus 2 times the area of the base. Okay, and it's 2 times the area of the base because there's one on the bottom and one on the top. So there's 2 of them. That's why there's 2 times the area of the base. Okay, now with this example, we're starting by identifying what our stuff is in these particular numbers, okay? So triangular prism. So we've got a triangle on the front and the back in this case, but those are our bases still. Remember, it doesn't have to be the bottom. And the distance between them is that 3 kilometers. Okay? Now the perimeter of the triangle, okay, is 5 plus 10 plus 12. I know the way they do it makes it a little bit ambiguous where the 10 is, but this side right here is a 10. So you have 12, 10, 5. So you add those up, so the perimeter is 27. And then the area of the base, okay, which is 1/2 base times height. Okay, we've got 4.1 is kind of the height of the triangle. Okay, I know it's a little bit tricky when we're talking about 2 different heights. Okay, in this case here, in our triangle formula, we only want the height of the triangle. Okay, so in this case, that's 4.1, and 12 is the bottom of that triangle. So we've got base of 12, height of 4.1, and that means the area of our triangle is 24.6. Okay, and now we have the H and the P and the capital B, which is all we need to find that formula, or to find that surface area. Okay, so we'll use that formula. So the height is 3, the perimeter is 27, and 2 times the area of the base, which is 24.6 kilometers squared. Okay, and then you just carefully do that math, and we end up with 130.2 kilometers squared. Okay, now this works exactly the same way. I know we did this with a triangle, but this would work the same way with any particular shape or type of prism, rather. So a trapezoidal prism, technically a rectangular prism would work, but we have the other formula for that one. A hexagonal prism, whatever it happens to be, it works for all of them. All right, now for this top example here, for example 7, we're not going to go through it all, but I just want to kind of emphasize what some of the information would be if we were. Okay, so remember the base, or that capital B part, would be the area of the trapezoid. P would be the perimeter of the trapezoid, okay, which you can certainly determine using the information you have there. And H would be the distance between the 2 trapezoids. Okay, so that H would be 9 millimeters. Okay, because it's between the 2 trapezoids. All right, they're sort of on the front, the 2 sides, sort of. It's at a weird angle. Okay, now we'll do another example down here related to cylinders. Okay, so what we've got here for the surface area of the cylinder, we've got, so if hopefully you remember, pi r squared, just the pi r squared only, is the area of a circle. Okay, a flat 2-dimensional circle, that's the area of that. So on a cylinder, we have 2 of those, one on the top, one on the bottom, or one on each side, I guess, if you turn it sideways, like in example 10. Now, so that's why there's 2 of them. Okay, the area of the part in between, that lateral area, you can get by finding 2 times pi times radius times height. Okay, which is the same as we talked about before. So 2 pi r, if you remember, is the circumference of a circle. So we're finding the circumference of the base times the height. Okay, so we're doing all of the same method and idea as the formula for the prism. Okay, it just looks a little different with a circle. You don't have to remember that, but I just want you to remember that these are all connected. Okay, the formulas are very similar when you really break them down. Okay, so let's do this example number 9 here. So the radius is of course 11. Again, be careful whether they're giving you radius or diameter. Okay, and the height will be 26. It is sort of nice with cylinders that really there are only those two things. There isn't anything else. Okay, there's not anything else you're going to need to know. So you really only need those two things. It makes things a little simpler. So 2 times pi times 11 squared, and then 2 times pi times 11, remember it's not squared here, it's important, times 26. Okay, so you end up with 760.27. Yes, I'm rounding it because if there's a pi involved, you're going to have to round it or you will be writing decimals for the rest of your life. So round it, please. And then you will, so add those together, and 2,557.26 yards squared. I think that's that's where I stop. So hopefully that mostly made sense. And we will talk lots more about surface area during our meetings and time together. If you do have any questions, please feel free to let me know in all of the usual ways. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was the best video you saw about surface area today, and have a great day.